These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write that down. I don't have a pencil.
Well, remember that. Write that down.
Yes, the OG version of Write That Down here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, where we make fools of ourselves by putting statistics next to our predictions, which are more wrong than right on a weekly basis here. When are you going to admit it, Judd? Admit that you were wrong.
Yeah, well, twice on Wednesdays. At least twice on Wednesdays. And maybe more often. Who knows?
Wrong. Yeah, we have explored adding like team-centric editions of this to like Twins and in the past and Flagrant Howls, but might be oversaturating the brand if we have like 6 different versions of Write That Down floating out there.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And then if we put in like a Wolves, a Twins, or a Wild one, what would be left for this one?
Just more Twins, Wolves, Wild, Vikings, I guess.
The OG needs to be fed.
Slim pickings. So here's how it works if you're new to the show here. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. Those are the rules. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app like Stuart did. He's going to join us here in just a couple of minutes. Hey, coming up in a couple of weeks, the Minnesota Golf Show, the 2024 Minnesota Golf Show, is February 9th through the 11th at the Minneapolis Convention Center. You get free lessons from a PGA teaching professional, try out the newest equipment for 2024, and maybe most importantly, you can watch us do a live podcast on Saturday, February 10th. The schedule and more information is at mngolfshow.com. Tickets for Score North listeners are just $5 to get into the Minnesota Golf Show. Come hang out with us. Use the promo code SCORE, S-K-O-R, to get those $5 tickets at mngolfshow.com. Again, Saturday, February 10th is the day that we will be there in the afternoon. I think it's like the schedule's on the website. I think it's middle of the day, mngolfshow.com.
I'm in the market for new putter cover. In classic Dex Tweets fashion, I might even buy a few of them because I left my putter cover on like the 3rd round of the year last year on some green and never got it back. So I'm in the market for new putter cover. I'm going to be on the lookout for that at the golf show.
See, that's why I don't have a putter cover because like it's like
I will lose it. Yep.
I'm going to lose 2 pair a year. Like it's not even.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens though.
Don't want your putter to get cold though.
But you don't. Yeah, you don't want to be cold. You don't want to be banging against things either. You know, it's a whole. You know, because that's preventing me from making putts. Is that putter?
Correct.
You know, moving all over the day.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So okay, let's get to the accountability session here, starting with Judd. We have 3 weeks left in the Write That Down season. So Judd's had a pretty sizable lead in the OG version of these predictions. Over on Purple Daily, it's anyone's race. Judd, you said like a week ago, you said Joey Gallo would not be on a big league roster by opening day, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And if that phrasing is correct, then this is incorrect because he is on a roster, a major league roster, after signing a $5 million deal with the Nationals.
Good luck to the Nationals on that one.
I was curious how we are going to phrase this, but the buy is we're correct here because I was thinking, well, maybe what if he doesn't make spring training, but he was
signed to a major league contract.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Nope, that's correct.
It is off the board. Just much like a Joey Gallo at bat. This is a miss.
Just a quick strikeout there.
Right.
Yep, but you know what? You strike out.
Throw shade there.
Strike out. It's 2024. You just walk back to the dugout and plan to go out for a couple of drinks and a steak after the game.
Put some seeds in.
Yeah, no one cares.
You said the Wolves would win all 4 games in the last week.
No.
Nope. You said Miguel Sano's next stop will be in the Kansas City Royals organization. He signed a minor league deal with the Angels organization.
Right. But I do have a pending prediction that Sano, I think, was going to be on an opening day roster or something along those lines. And
we can check. We can verify.
You have a lot of Sano predictions.
I am hoping that one will now help me in the 2024 campaign.
Let me control F Sano here in our document. You've got, let's see, you've got the one that just came off the board.
Yeah, this one's pretty recent too.
I don't know. Then I've got him. I had one where he was going to hit 25 home runs in non-major league games.
Okay.
Oh, you've got one from 2 weeks ago where he's on a 40-man roster at some point, but he's not on a 40-man right now, or it was a minor league contract.
Right. So he's going to have to be slapped onto the 40-man. But with the Angels, I got a real chance.
You do.
Slim pickings there.
You do. Yep.
Yeah, they're trying to replace a lot of home runs. Not sure if you saw the news, but they lost Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, and poor Mike Trout. Oh, my God.
You did disrespectfully say Joe Mauer would get at least 45% or more of the votes on his first time on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got in. Okay,
By 4 votes.
I had 2 atrocious beats in Timberwolves predictions here. One of them that comes off the board. I said the Wolves would lose to one of these 2 bad teams by this last week's Write That Down, the Blazers or the Pistons. I could have included Charlotte on that list. I don't know why I didn't include Charlotte. I just didn't include Charlotte.
It happens.
Them's the breaks.
And then I said Anthony Edwards would score 40 points in the first 3 quarters of a game by the end of the Write That Down season. I picked the wrong Timberwolf.
Wrong guy.
Still on the board, though.
It stays on the board.
Still on the board. Come on. Don't get down.
Listeners, Matt and Lynn came on and said very specifically, Joe Mauer would be inducted into the Hall of Fame at a percentage between 76 and 79.5%.
This is because Matt got the home run on the Garza. They're 2 for 3 and with 2 home runs on their predictions.
Wow, dude.
That's one of the best just singular guest appearances I think we've ever had.
That's mom and son, right?
Mom and son. Yeah, I went to high school with Matt.
You know what this means? Always, mom knows best. That's what this means.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Lynn was, I think this was Lynn's prediction specifically.
It was,
76 to 79.5%. He was
Lynn, shout out to you.
76%. And then Declan, pretty good week. We'll start with the bad here. You said the Wolves would beat the Pistons by at least 20. They played with their food in that game. They did win it. You said Josh Hader would sign with a National League team unless the Astros move back to the National League. How about that? The Astros are like, let's just add Josh Hader to our bullpen.
Yeah, granted, most teams are in trouble when you're going into the 8th inning and if you have a lead, but you are now going against Josh Hader and Ryan Presley in the 8th and 9th inning. Good luck.
That's a problem.
Good luck.
Yeah, and then the Brewers signed Rhys Hoskins yesterday to it. Was it like 2 years, $30-some million?
Yep.
Pretty reasonable contract.
That would have been fun to have.
Not for the Twins,
game.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Twins said no, thank you.
Alex Kirilloff can't feel the ground ball.
What's that, Declan? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Nothing.
Yeah, just gotta put that glove down, scoop that ball before it goes down the right field line for a couple runs. Yeah. How's that novel you've been working on there, Alex?
Novel? Yeah, the projections on Fangraphs saying you have a top 5 offense and a top 5 pitching staff and a top 5 bullpen.
He's got a nice beard now, though. He's got a nice beard he's growing.
And he has an off-season beard going?
He's got an off-season beard. It looks good. He looks older because he ordinarily looks like he's like 12.
Are we still doing the Twins caravan where we go around the state? Or
Yep.
It's on right now.
Or they drive around to Brainerd
Fargo
and different
and St.
in a
Cloud.
bus? Yeah.
Yeah.
We will get at least 3 members inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Nice.
Declan said correctly. Although I think people thought it was going to be Billy Wagner instead of Joe Mauer. Right? Like Helton and Beltre were kind of on track, and then
Beltre was the lock for me. I think Helton was more of the secure, and I guess the third was kind of just up for grabs between Wagner, Mauer, and I didn't expect Chef to get in, but and he should be in. Honestly, Andrew Jones is the biggest snub. I do not understand how that dude's not in the Hall of Fame.
really good player. Yeah,
It's absurd.
yeah, he probably should be in. You said Joe Mauer would get at least 65% of the vote, so you both had disrespected Joe Mauer there. So right now, Judd, with 3 weeks to go, 329 batting average with a 283. Declan, listeners at 269. I'm at 263. Listeners leading with 13 home runs. I have 11. Judd with 10. Declan with 9 home runs so far with just a few weeks to go, like I said. So there we go. Those are the season stats. I'll get you the career stats, too, because Declan is celebrating his 200th career hit.
Declan.
And write that down. Nice job, dude.
Way to go, Wee Willie
Thank you.
Keeler.
It's been an up and down year for old Dex
Willie
Tweets.
Keeler.
A lot of hits.
Choke
Willie
up on that
Keeler.
bat. Yeah.
Choke up on the bat here and get some actual knocks. That's nice. I think I maybe had 2 hits in my Little League career. So the fact I've gotten 200 on Write That Down
You had
feels
2?
pretty damn good. No, I had more
I had
than
1.
2, but probably
I
less
had
than
1
10.
hit. I had one hit.
Do you remember your one hit in youth baseball?
Yeah. I closed my eyes.
Everyone does. Everyone remembers their first hit. Yeah.
Low pitch, grounded through shortstop. And to go back to our conversation about parents not being at games, in this situation, my old man didn't come. Like he was not there. But my mom was at all of my games. She went to pick up my dad at the airport, and I got that hit. Again, proving pressure was off without my mom there.
I would pay so much money for Judd to unpack some of this with like we should do like an actual therapy session with Judd on the show. We should all do that, quite frankly.
Yeah.
So Declan leads the batting average race 359. Judd leads with the overall hit total 306. Listeners lead the overall home run total with 55. So let's get Stuart in here. He's our guest listener predictor. Stuart, what's going on, man? When did you first become a suffering Minnesota sports fan?
Back in 2017, when Buddy had got me to start paying attention to the Vikings, and only listened on basically paid attention via StatCasts. Because I just watched the game progress on my phone. My favorite one was the Minneapolis Miracle. I'm just following on my phone, watching a movie with my wife, then girlfriend. And it's like, oh, the game's over. I'm just going to pay attention to the movie now. And then all of a sudden, as soon as I close my phone, I hear loud cheering from the apartment next door. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hold up my phone. It's like, really?
And so 2017, so you're only like 6 years into this thing. This is
do
why,
not make
right
that
here.
poor child a Minnesota sports fan. Whatever you do. Oh, you don't want to like the Twins and Vikings, do you? How about the Red Sox?
Who do we have here? Who's your mini-me?
This is Kellen.
Aw. See, look at that. This is the comfort. See,
that's great.
See, Judd?
Yeah.
The comfort of a parent
parents are important.
someone.
They just don't need to be at all your games. Oh, parents are very important. I'm not dissing parenting.
Parents are important. They just don't need to be there for.
They just don't need to be there all
about.
The time. Look at Kelton. Kelton's like, I do not want to be a Vikings fan. Don't do this to me.
Give me away. So we're gonna start with Stuart, go over to Judd, Declan, and then back to me. 3 trips around the room. The predictions must be quantifiable. Those are the only rules. So Stuart, you guys can make your first prediction there, Stuart.
All right, so my first prediction, I explained how I became a Vikings fan in 2017, but something else also happened in 2017. The Browns went 0-16 after going 1-15. Do you remember Bud Light had those locked fridges in their stadiums, like to be opened after the Browns' first win? Mm-hmm. Well, I took pity on them, and I was like, I'll cheer for the Browns out of pity. And that next draft, they drafted Baker Mayfield first overall.
Yeah.
And I have no explanation, no logical reason for this, but I decided I'm going to follow Baker Mayfield and just blindly cheer him on for no good reason.
I know what he's doing here. This is great.
So to support Baker Mayfield, I'm going to predict Baker Mayfield will sign a contract lasting 3 or more years.
Okay, I thought you were sending him here because he's a free agent. No. Kirk's a free agent.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
That would perfectly marry 3 or more years.
3 or more years. Wow. Okay.
Write this down.
He's probably earned that, like 3 years, 90 million, something like that.
Yeah, he's gonna get paid.
Yeah. So okay, back over to Judd here.
All right. You can write this down. The Timberwolves will acquire a guard currently on an NBA roster before the trade deadline. So the Timberwolves are going to make a trade. They're going to acquire a guard, or I should say acquire. The Timberwolves are going to acquire, that's the most important thing, a guard currently on an NBA team before the deadline.
So they're going to make a trade.
Well, most likely off the record, yes, they absolutely are. But I'm just saying, if in case something weird happens and they end up signing a guy who's currently on a roster. But yeah.
Here's where you could hilariously get burned. Because you are saying currently. So if there's some random free agent that's out there right now.
Oh, yeah, then yeah.
That like isn't currently on an NBA roster.
Yeah, I'm willing to take
by
that
the
chair.
Trade. Okay.
Like Ricky Rubio. Is he on is he technically on a roster?
No, he's not. And I feel like that would be such a shrug. And I'm going for an impact acquisition.
So okay. Well, no, there's other scenarios that could be interesting here, but
Sure.
we'll figure those out.
I mean, if they
later.
go to Turkey and sign a guy, then I'm going to get burned by it. If they go to Russia and sign a guy, I'm going to get burned by it.
So sorry, what's the phrasing of the prediction again? Just so I can.
The Timberwolves will acquire a guard currently on an NBA roster
Okay.
before the trade deadline.
So currently, right now,
Yeah,
or
currently, yes.
when the transaction is made.
Currently, January
Currently,
24th.
right now.
Okay.
Right now.
I have it in the.
I mean, I
have it
could
in
get
the
beat.
spreadsheet.
Like,
I could easily get
right
beat
now.
here. Right this second.
Write this down.
Not an hour ago.
No.
Right now.
No.
Because I was gonna say if the Hornets buy out Kyle Lowry tomorrow, and then he's no longer on an NBA roster, and the Wolves grab Kyle Lowry in the buyout market,
But he's currently on
but
an
he's
NBA roster.
currently on the Hornets.
That's what, yes.
Okay. Just clarifying. Okay, Declan.
All right. I'm going to live and die by these Royal Rumble. This is going to be the only thing that probably gets me close back in the batting race with only a few seasons left. So I'm going to stack some more Royal Rumble predictions and seeing what happens here. So write this down. My first of 2 more Royal Rumble predictions. The great one, The Rock, will participate in the men's Royal Rumble match.
Whoa.
He won't just show up in some he will participate in the Royal Rumble match.
Let's unpack the word participate. So he'll be one of the 30 entrants, or what if he interferes in some form? He'll be
I want
in
him to
the
be
Rumble,
one
or
of-
he'll be involved
in the I love that you're helping me out here in the phrasing, but I want this in the match. He's going to be one of the 30 entrants in the men's Royal Rumble. He will participate in the men's Royal Rumble match.
Wow. Man,
Declan
they're
wants
cooking right now.
They are cooking.
right now, the WWE.
This weekend is a couch. This is probably one of the best couch weekends of sports I've ever experienced. Got Royal Rumble. You got the championship games on Sunday.
What if
I
the
am
gal
not moving.
says, "Hey, Declan, let's go do something"?
Nope. Not
Wedding's
moving.
off. Sorry.
What if she says
no.
the wedding? What if she says the wedding is off unless you go do something with me right now?
Well, I have to see CM Punk or Cody Rhodes win this match, so honey, we'll figure that out down the line. So that's fine. I'm watching this match.
And then
Not
she'll
moving.
say, "But you know it's all scripted. It's all fake, right?"
She knows
That's
wrestling.
great.
She's
You
good
know
with
what?
wrestling.
You know what else is fake? Unscripted, Succession, and Game of
Yeah.
Thrones.
And I
I
don't
would-
watch those shows.
She's a big Law and
I
Order
only
fan,
watch
so I would
real
just
The
throw
NBA,
that
the
right
NBA is
back in.
scripted.
Law and Order is not scripted. Those are real life cases. I don't know what
Those
you're
are
talking
real
about.
That's a documentary. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you know that. Okay, write this down. The Timberwolves are going to bounce. I am not convinced that the Timberwolves ship is sinking after what we've seen the last couple weeks. They will learn from what's happened. And write this down. The Timberwolves will win Mike Conley's next game whenever he plays next. I think it was just taking a night off. They will win his next game by at least 10 points.
Okay.
Write it down.
Yeah, he's got a hamstring problem.
Yep. So he might sit
But I
for a
mean-
little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
And they've got, let's see, let's just pull up their little.
Yeah, it's
They're
interesting
upcoming.
that people think they're cooked, or that
it's
a
funny
small
how-
faction.
How
think
far
they're
we've
cooked.
come in that, like, the Timberwolves losing back-to-back games. And this also happened a month ago because it's only the second time they've lost back-to-back games. And we're like, oh, my God, the sky is falling. It was bad. It was bad. It was selfish. It was, as Chris Finch said, it was disgusting. It was immature. It was
yeah.
all those things.
Yes.
It also wasn't the end of their time here
They've
toward
had-
the top of the Western Conference.
They have now had this season 2 awful defeats, right? The Hawks loss and this loss. 2. These are the
Yeah.
Timberwolves we're talking about.
Going into the game, too, I would say circumstances within the game, I would put the Boston loss when you're up by 9, even
Oh,
though
sure,
you had
but I'm
guys
just-
missing. But
But they actually cared about it. The Boston game, they were engaged in it. They sort of melted down.
yeah,
The Hawks loss and this loss against Charlotte were just bad.
yep, those are the two, like going into the game and then
Yep.
the result, embarrassing.
Write this down.
100%.
I'm not giving up.
All right, Stuart, we're back to Stuart here.
All right. This prediction is for you, Mackey.
Let's go.
So, the following NFL players by week 2 kickoff of the 2024 season will have new contracts with the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson, Christian Darrisaw, Daniil Hunter, and Kirk Cousins.
Oh, you're going all four. All four. Okay, off the record, what do you think the contract for Kirk looks like?
I have no idea. I don't do much.
You're not
with the
dabbling
cap.
in contracts? Okay.
No,
5 years.
don't do much with the cap. I don't
100
understand
years,
it. I leave
lifetime.
That. No, I still want them to draft a QB. I don't like the idea of drafting a rookie QB and then throwing him into the fire. I didn't like it when the Bengals did it. I didn't like when the Cardinals did it or when the Chargers did it. Get a rookie QB, let him sit behind a year or two, like Jordan Love or Patrick Mahomes. Let them learn from someone experienced, and then see what they can do. That used to be the standard, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and I agree. They should do 100% that with Ryan Tannehill on a 1-year contract that doesn't hamstring your salary cap situation.
Write it down. You
No,
like
I think
writing things down?
I think the Wilfs. I could very easily see them come in. It's like, hey, last year was all injuries. Let's run it back.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the band back together and do it all
Oh,
again.
yeah.
I could very much see the Wilfs doing that.
Absolutely. 100%.
You're singing a familiar tune is what you're doing right now.
Yeah, they love to play the hits over there at TCOPC. All right, Judd, what's your second prediction?
All right. Joe Mauer's Hall of Fame speech will include
Speaking of playing the hits, this is great.
mentions of the following: Paul Molitor, Jack Morris, Dave Winfield, Jim Thome, Ron Gardenhire, Justin Morneau, and Johan Santana.
Oh, that's okay. Santana's interesting.
Now, when I was driving home from the Wild game last night, they were replaying an interview on MLB Network Radio on Sirius that they had done with Santana talking about Joe. And I think he's going to now if Joe was a little bit more emotive about things, which he's not off the record, I would say that he would make a mention of Johan perhaps belonging in the Hall of Fame. That's off the record.
It is the most overlooked player of the last 20 years. Like to
The
not
fact
even get a second year on the
Yeah,
ballot.
exactly.
He was the best pitcher in
Torrey.
baseball for like 5 years.
Torrey Hunter, God bless him, really, really good player, stayed on the ballot. Like it's 5%.
It's insane that Johan. Yeah, people just forgot, and I blame the year that Bartolo Colon inexplicably won a Cy Young award because he had 20 wins. Johan had like 16 wins, but dominated all the other stat categories, and that would have been 3 consecutive Cy Youngs. I think that gets him into the Hall of Fame. 3 straight Cy Youngs, dominating for like 8 years.
Interesting.
Sandy Koufax. Now Koufax won. Koufax did it in the World Series. I
Right.
think he has 2 rings.
Johan
But he's
deserves to
basically
stay
so-
on the ballot for a while.
And Judd, this is his speech at Cooperstown, right? Not at Target
Correct.
Field.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, his Hall of Fame speech as he's tearing up and crying and the hanky is out. And there's nothing wrong with that. Men cry.
He should wipe his tears with a Homer hanky.
Write this down.
That would be great. Great touch.
Ooh, that's a good marketing idea.
Dex, what's
All
your
right,
next?
second and last Royal Rumble prediction that I'm stacking here. Ding dong, hello. Bailey wins the women's Royal Rumble match.
Okay. Judd, what do you
Bailey.
think about that? Do you
We
think
think
Bailey
You
Bailey
has
might
a
as
good
well
shot?
have made this prediction in French. I have no idea what he just said.
But what about? Well, I mean Bailey, but like Becky Lynch, is a
Becky.
top contender too.
I could see both them probably squaring off as the last two.
I think it's great you made that prediction.
They're
Stack
gonna
those.
Write
make-
it down. You like
They're gonna
do
break up
you,
damage
Dad.
control. It's great.
You do you.
Love what they're doing.
Okay, write this down. Stefan Diggs will not be a Buffalo Bill for the 2024 season.
That's
Actually, you know what? No, I'll stick with that one. I was gonna go like Stefan Diggs' cryptic social media post, but he always does that. So I'll just flat out say it. When week 1 of the 2024 NFL season starts, Stefan Diggs will not be a Buffalo Bill anymore. I think there's enough crap behind the scenes the last couple years. It doesn't feel like you can just run this thing back. And the Bills have cap problems too.
Yeah.
Could they ship him out for a draft pick? Maybe a first round pick somewhere.
And is he still elite?
Ship him to the Chiefs. How about that, dude? Could you
But I
imagine
mean-
the Chiefs with Diggs, Rice?
Have
Now
the
that
Bills
might be
do to
great.
Diggs what the Vikings did to him, draft him out for a first round.
Yeah, go get your Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what Diggs like. If you put Diggs on most teams now, I'm not saying he's not productive and not good, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's worth the pain in the ass that he's become, and he probably was 2 years ago.
But I don't think he's a pain in the ass when he first gets somewhere. Like I think first couple of years, it would be more of a question of he's getting a little older. He's certainly not. I don't think you're putting him on the same level you did maybe 2-3 years ago as elite of the elite receivers. But however it happens, I could see. And I don't know if the Bills and the Chiefs would even do business with each other in a trade because they're fighting each other for playoff position. But
write this down.
We'll see. Stuart, what's your third and final prediction?
All right. So before I get to my third and final prediction, I want to do my shout outs because that will lead into my final prediction here.
Sure. Yeah.
So first going to shout out all of the sports content or sports media that I consume, starting with Score North, Purple Daily, Judd's Hockey Show, Flagrant Howls, Twin Show. Moving on from there, there's on YouTube Urinating Tree. There's great NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB coverage. Does entire season recaps. Does historical recaps as well. So if you're new to a sport like I am, you can learn about histories. There's also Brandon Perna of That's Good Sports. He's a Broncos fan in Denver, and he makes great comedic coverage of the NFL. My favorite is his power ranking because they barely make any sense. And if you're sick and tired of power rankings are all the same, go watch his. You'll have a good laugh there. Plus, he spins a curse wheel to see who his top 10 teams get cursed that week.
Love it.
And finally, I'm going to shout out someone who has been on this show before as a member of Packers Vent Line, Tom Grossi of Packcast the Podcast.
Tom Grossi is hilarious, 100%.
He does great charity work. He does amazing stuff. This past off season, he did 30 and 30, where he went to every single NFL stadium in 30 days. He raised over $500,000 for St. Jude. He live streams watch-alongs of every single primetime football game. I love watching him just to get even more angry at the Packers. Brandon Prentice said this best. You know how long the Packers were questionable or nervous about their QB? Half a season.
Yeah, exactly.
Half a season.
That's the crazy thing.
But it was sure fun to say that they were in big trouble, wasn't it?
God, literally since 1992, they've spent a half a season wondering about their quarterback. It's ridiculous. So,
Tom Grossi, with all his amazing stuff, is the Packers Fan of the Year. And he's going at the NHL honors. He's going to be competing against Fan of the Years from every single fan base. So here's my prediction. Tom Grossi will win NFL Fan of the Year.
Wow.
Okay.
That'll be some good content on the old YouTube channel for Tom Grossi. I like it. Stuart, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me.
Nice work with your prediction. All right, take care. Stuart, pretty new to being a Minnesota sports fan, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if we check back in with Stuart in 8 to 10 years, he's going to have like a full gray beard and like, I've been through a lot as a Minnesota sports fan.
I feel for the poor kid. Like if that poor kid has to be, raised
forcing your children into Minnesota sports fandom. Yeah.
Like the crying makes perfect sense because the kid's like, I know what's ahead of me. Just nothing but heartbreak and bad and really just gut-wrenching defeats.
Yep. If we all could have known. If we all could have known. Hey, before we get to our 3 final predictions, let's tell the audience how they can get in the best shape of their lives, change their lives by losing weight, Judd.
That would be through exactly what Sports Dad did there. If you're watching this guy on the left, guy on the right, it's the same guy. What's the difference? Down 40 pounds thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, who not only are going to help you lose the weight, but they're going to help you keep the weight off. And that's the most important thing. And if you join right now, wow, have I got an offer for you. 3 months for free. That's right. Your first 3 months for free. Imagine spring hits. You've had 3 months for free. All those clothes that don't fit now fit. You're feeling great and you are ready for spring. And also the introduction of their brand new medical weight loss option. This could be a game changer for a lot of folks because it helps to suppress many of the cravings that make weight loss so difficult. 855-GO-LIVIA, livia.com, LIVEA.com.
All right, boys.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Our last predictions here. Judd, fire away.
Okay, the Wild has 2 more games left. They play tomorrow and Saturday at home before their 10-day break, which is a result of the bye week and the All-Star break. The bye week's one of the stupidest things. I can't stand it. I hope they all enjoy Cabo. Just unbelievable. Anyway, write this down. That was a aside. Write this down. Kirill Kaprizov will score at least 2 goals in the next 2 games. Now, those games are against Nashville and the Ducks. Of course, this could be 2 goals in one of the games. This could be a goal in each game, but at least 2 goals in the next 2 games before that break. And just for a point of reference, I'm going out on a little bit of a limb here because last night against the Capitals, he didn't even have a shot on goal. The Wild won. Alex Ovechkin, by the way, just cooked. God, he is just
too bad.
He is violating the Zolgadian rule, and he's not going to go away. He needs 60-some odd goals to catch.
Yeah, he's trying to get the goal record.
Yeah, how old is he now?
38.
38.
38, and he is slow, and he looks beat up, and I don't think he's hurt. I just think he's old.
Yeah, it's tough, man. He probably, because his personality was never like face of the league personality too, and he kind of mirrored Sidney Crosby's career. So I don't think he's ever going to be maybe looked at as. He's probably always going to be a little bit overshadowed by a couple other guys in his era. But now it's like don't let this be what you're remembered for.
But he's gonna. But he gets But I think it's 64 goals or 65 goals, and he becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the league. So he ain't going away. He's going to get that
try
record.
like hell. Yeah, he's going to.
But
try
I mean,
like
he's
hell.
going to be 52, and it's just going to be painful. And I'm
yeah. Well, so so he
Great
scored
last year.
50 and 42 goals the last 2 years. Like, what happened this offseason where he just can't score goals anymore?
As Mike McDaniel, coach of the Dolphins, said, Father Time, I believe he said, is an SOB. Or no, a dick. He said Father Time is a dick. And that's what I really think that he plays a heavy game. Ovechkin does. And I think it's just got up to him.
Yeah. He always looks a little bit disheveled too, doesn't he? He's just kind of.
Oh yeah, he
He's
does.
had a gray beard for like 12 years.
Yeah, and he can consume his beers too.
Mm-hmm. All right, Declan, what is your final prediction?
Write it down. You like writing things down.
I'm gonna go to the golf well. Yeah, Phil came off. My Will Zalatoris pick from a few weeks ago. That already came off the board. That didn't go well for me. But you got the Farmers Open this week, and a good field too. Like honestly, the first really good field of the PGA Tour this year. You got some good names here. Max Homa won it last year, and I want to make another prediction that's a little similar, but him beating some other favorites. So write this down. Max Homa will finish ahead of the following golfers at the Farmers Open: Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantley, Colin Morikawa. He'll have a better score than all 3 of those guys at the Farmers Open.
Judd, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I think it's dead on. But who could have seen the amateur winning last weekend, you guys?
How about that guy? So he doesn't get paid, right? Like if you're an amateur,
he's got to make a decision. No, he does not get paid.
But he just wasted like if he had just gone pro, then he would have won over $1 million in that tournament, right? Or $2 million.
So he withdrew from this upcoming tournament because I think he's trying to decide now because he does not want to accidentally win again for nothing.
Dude, what's the decision? And also, in the NIL era of college athletics, why can't you just make money playing? You know what I'm saying? Like, can't you play college golf over here if you want to, and then also play in a pro tournament? Why are you even playing college golf?
Yeah, just turn pro.
Just won a PGA tournament, dude.
Just turn pro.
What a gross underestimation of his talent.
So this was a feel-good story. Like everyone, was like, "This is great," and Phil comes along and rightfully calls him out.
Well, I would say the people around him are not advising him in the right way. If he's capable of winning a PGA tournament,
just use the word. You people are idiots.
I need to speak with his parents.
Write this down.
I need to speak with a manager of some kind. Parents. I feel like I want to make a Royal Rumble prediction too, Dex, but I just have, to their credit, I have no clue at all whatsoever what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like The Rock and Roman Reigns might not happen this year. I almost feel like it's more of maybe a next year situation. Play this thing out, the long game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I will say this. The Rock will not wrestle an official match in the WWE until after this year's WrestleMania. So that means no Royal Rumble, no WrestleMania. He will not wrestle an official match until after this year's WrestleMania. Okay. And I don't know. You tell me. We can't turn wrestling predictions into home runs really because it's.
I don't think you can turn that one into a home run just because he's not like build at all.
Sure.
I can see that being a long-term thing, like a SummerSlam, right? Like maybe it's SummerSlam between Roman and The Rock, and that was also everyone's initial fear was, this Cody Rhodes thing is going to be shelved now for another year. No. Like they can keep this. No. They can keep this Rock thing and Roman going for a long time. They don't have to kick it off tomorrow.
Do it in a year. That's what happened last time when it was like Rock and Cena. They literally planted the seed a year in advance. So that's what's going to happen. So anyhow, here's your predictions. I know Judd loves when we make golf and wrestling predictions.
Write this down.
Oh, I don't mind at all. What do you mean? I don't get it. It's great.
Well, you just get really quiet because you don't know what we're talking
the wrestling,
about. We're speaking a different language.
On the golf predictions I talk. On wrestling, I do just hang back. I don't know enough about it to talk.
Judd, you want to come over on Saturday? Watch
No, I
Rumble
don't.
with me?
I have no interest.
This is a renaissance era for WWE right now. It's so fun.
And that's awesome. And you know what? If you still lived in the North Loop, I might actually make the trip.
You would have considered it.
But I ain't driving to Woodbury from St. Louis Park.
Okay. All right.
There's a force field right past St. Paul, right past the XL Energy Center exit there. Judd do not pass.
Well, let's just say if I made that drive, I wouldn't drink beers, and what would be the point?
Yeah.
Because don't forget, buzz driving is drunk driving.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes,
we'll end the episode on that life advice from Sports Dad here. Write that down Wednesday. Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd.